Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still with you and today's edition of Cairo Local Time, and still continuing our discussion on Egyptian-African relations. We are delighted to be joined over the telephone by Dr. Magdi Saadani, the African Affairs researcher. A very good afternoon to you, Dr. Magdi. Dr. Magdi, can you hear us, sir?
Yes. Hi, dear.
Hi. Thank you very much for joining us, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Right. So we've seen a lot of times, especially during the last few years, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi always calling that recovery in the African continent will only be accomplished through better infrastructure, better transport networks, better collaboration between African nations, and a digital transformation. Let's talk a bit about Egypt's experience in these fields and how they can help African nations and the resulting consequences of this collaboration between African countries.
First of all, let me pass my gratitude to President Sisi because it is the right time to realize that we were away from the right road in Africa. We cannot deny that Egypt is a part of Africa, not only a part, it was and still a leader of African nations, especially in the pre-liberation time. And the Egyptian leadership was all the time beside the liberation movements in Africa. Of course, we had for a while, and it is the right time to go back and to make up the lost days. So, first of all, please, I have to admit that what President Sisi is doing now, or planning to do now, is the right thing which should be done long time ago. This is the first, or this is the entrance for the issue. The point is as follows. Number one, Egypt had been, and in the serious basis in the continent, in a leadership in the continent for a long time, and we were supposed to continue because we have in the serious business, agriculture, and a lot of things which makes us qualified to be the leader of the African continent.
Yes.
But to export, in what do we have in Egypt? We have mines, we have education, we have training, we have infrastructure company, contracting, and this is the things which we can export to African continent in the first place. And that will put us back again on the African continent, second continent countries.
Yes, Doctor. Dr. Magdi?
Yes, please, I'm here.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Now, Doctor, let's talk a bit about the Egyptian assumption of the presidency of the African Union for 2019. A lot of initiatives were taken by Egypt, signaling the trust of African countries in the credibility of the Egyptian leadership. Now we're talking about the Egyptian efforts to seek to address political and economic as well as social challenges that could hinder integration of the continent. Could you tell us a bit about some of these challenges and how the Egyptian foreign policy really dealt with them during the leadership of the AU?
Okay, let me put this first. Believe it or not, whether we like it or not, the political issues is the major fact in the relationship between the African countries. Maybe in Europe or in other countries or another continent a bit different. But the personality of the leadership, the credibility of the leadership.
Yes.
Because, Africa, we are still emotional. If we love somebody, we love him to the end. If we don't love somebody, we don't love him for him. So, the credibility of President Sisi, first of all, he was not known to many of the African leaders. And also there was a lot of changes in the African leadership. So, when the people met the guy, using the guy, but he's our president.
Yes.
I'm just telling, when he leaves the right impression to those people in the last summit, the people feel, you can trust why. Let's go and back to that person and let's put a hand to Egypt. especially with the old background of collaboration. So I think what President Sisi stated or put a foundation of mutual understanding and respect in the African leaders, that was the base upon which, and I can quote, that the next decade, it will be the Egyptian decade in Africa, because now Egypt is playing the main role with all the problems, you know, about this and this, the Nahda and the other things, still playing or will play the main role in the triad. This new agreement, which will contain COMESA and the other two major economical solidarity in Africa, that will be led by Egypt. Not only 10 or 20 companies, it will be 20 countries, 29, 20 and more. And it will join also South African with us.
Indeed.
Which is actually, I think, it is the best way to lead the continent. We are qualified to do that. And our leadership are qualified to lead our country, to lead Africa.
Indeed, indeed. And Doctor, you know, economic cooperation is one of the main cornerstones, really, of African nations' cooperation. And we've seen the Continental Free Trade Area Agreement that was recently inked and will start very soon, allowing further integration economically between African nations. How important is this agreement in this regard, Doctor?
The agreement is crucial. It's very important. But let me, through your podcast, let me convey this message.
Yes.
We have, I'm talking about the Egyptian businessmen, manufacturers, exporters. We have to respect. First, we have to keep our name, which we put it in the product, made in Egypt. We have to respect the taste and the mind of the African client. We have to push our Egyptian products to be beloved and respected by the others. We have to get the highest standard. Especially, we are competing with the, you know, I don't say the European, but we are competing with the Chinese. Chinese, they have a good product with a very cheap price. So our advantage is for the free trade, zero customs, and zero documentation even between the African countries for the new treaties. It will help us to sell more, to put our name more in also in some countries which we have never been before.
Yes.
But in the same time, we have to put the reputation of Egypt on the top as a priority. Not money, not profit. We have to push our name. And I can quote that one of our major contracting companies is very reputed in Egypt, in Africa.
Yes.
Some of the electrical suppliers, some electrical manufacturers
are very well,
are trademarked.
Yes.
Even trademarked. You can ask somebody, he said,
yes.
I want that cable.
Yes.
He said,
yes.
okay, you have to buy from
this
XYZ.
area. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Yes.
This momentum has to be put in under the leadership. Then everything will go in our direction.
Absolutely.
Especially Africa is the richest continent, either consumer or producer.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Magdi Saadani, the African Affairs researcher. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us, for your insight and your time. And I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today's edition of Cairo Local Time. We do hope you have enjoyed it. You were in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Many thanks for watching.